Alright, YouTube, I'm back. It's now after almost 10 minutes to 1 here on this Friday evening. And I'm here in the pickup line reporting for duty. Cause if you don't get here early, you're gonna be all day trying to get your child. So I'm sitting here in the pickup line. It's like six of us already here already. But when my children are in school, this is mostly my thing. I be in my car a lot when they be in school. So yeah. But I do get to enjoy some of my alone time though. When they're gone. I have a lot of chance to think and reflect and all those other kind of things. So, and I have I've been reading a book, so, and it's been really good and it's been helpful, and it's called The Path to Life. It is very inspirational. I got it out of it's very inspirational, and I got it out of a bargain store. It just caught my eye, and I had to get it, and I've been reading it faithfully because I love to read a book. I love to read a book, so that's what I've been doing besides making YouTube videos. But I am embracing myself coming out of hiding. I feel like I've been hiding for all these years, hiding the way I feel, the things that I go through, and trying to maintain a united front with a husband. Being married isn't easy. Not by a long shot. It's not easy. And there have been times I've been like, did I sign up for this? But being married to someone that just absolutely don't have or don't think they have any faults, it's hard. It's really hard. And my husband, he got like he didn't have any faults, and everything was everybody else's fault. Everything, any conflict, anything that happens in our marriage, it was always somebody else's fault. And then he never liked to work on things, talk about things. And he just felt the same way as everybody else that been growing up, that you just sweep stuff under the rug. And I just was like, what? Wait. I don't want to sweep nothing under the rug no more. I'm tired of that. I really am. I'm tired of sweeping stuff under the rug. My husband, he was very dominant. He's very, very dominant, man. And, after I had my first child, we lived in Port Charlotte, and I was able and blessed to be able to stay home for like 6 months, about 3 or 4 months with my child. So we really bonded. Me and my baby really bonded before I went back to work at the juvenile justice. So it was really, really hard. But he was more of a help then when I came to my second child. Even though he got frustrated too, and I had to keep it cool, I had to, take on more responsibility when it came to the child when he got frustrated. So, but I never really had time to just be in the moment when I had my baby. I just never had time to be in the moment and process everything because I had a baby and then I had a man that was demanding my attention. So I was trying to figure out how to divide the time. It was hard. I never did figure it out because by the time my second child came along, I was really holding the bag. Up all night, tending to the baby, changing pampers and things like that, especially when they don't want to go to sleep. So I really was holding the bag then, but I had no choice because he worked, and he took care of the bills. But at the same time, the red flags was there, and I chose to ignore them because he took care of the bills, he took care of me, and he took care of the kids. So I ignored the red flags. So when my second baby came, he moved out the room and he moved into my son's room. So my son, my oldest son, and I had my oldest son and my newborn baby sleeping with me in our bed, in my married bed. And that went on for a long period of time. I slept with my two kids, my two boys, for up until my baby boy turned 4. And my oldest boy, I, I think at the time he was 11. So I finally had enough of that, because when I would get up through the night to go to the bathroom or something like that, I could see in my son's room it'll be cracked. And I could always see my husband on the phone. And I was like, okay, what's really going on? But I would just push it to the side because my baby, I needed me. So that's what I put my focus on. But as time went by, I seen a lot of that. Him on the phone in other room and stuff like that. I didn't think none of it. I really didn't think anything of it at the time. But now that everything has came out with him and his cheating, that's all he was doing. He was texting women, talking to women on the phone in another room. So I made a conscious decision to try to save my marriage, and I got my children out of my bedroom. And then, so far, in my mind, I thought things was good. Between us, since the children went out the room, and he was back in the bedroom. But things weren't good. I fell into another depression. It was just like, wow. Because it was just a lot on me, me being home with a baby all day, and then trying to take my son to school. It just was a lot on me, and I felt like I didn't have no help. And I felt like I couldn't even go to him to express how I was feeling, because it would just start an argument for no reason at all, So I just kept my mouth quiet and just chuckle, all along. Just went on with the program. So I stayed in depression with my baby. Sometimes I wouldn't even take a bath. It'd be 3 or 4 days before I take a bath, and I never would brush my teeth. And I would be crying constantly in the room, dark, in the dark room, everything dark, the whole house dark, because I kept it dark, and be crying, just crying, and my baby just laying there looking like, what's wrong with this lady? I would be in the shower. When I did take a bath, I would be in the shower crying. And I just was like hopeless. I really was during that time. Whew, I was so hopeless. Then my husband started changing on me. He began to start snapping more on me. Talking down more, talking real nasty and down to me. And I took that. I took it as much as I could. Nothing was never right. Something was always wrong. The food was wrong. Oh, I didn't do this enough. I didn't do that enough. I didn't have sex enough. Whatever it wasn't enough for him. And then I started to get burnt out and depressed. Because I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do at all. Sorry for the long pause. This is a lot. It's a lot for me. It's a lot to recall, and just thinking about it and talking about it. It may be releasing, the things that need to be released, but it's also so hard to talk about. But my mission is to help others and help myself, because this life that I've lived was a hell of a ride. But now that I'm older, and now that my husband has decided that he wants to be with his mistress full time, I'm now wondering, what do I do with myself? Here I am, 44 years old, obese, and with 2 children under the age of 13. And sometimes I just question it. Well, who will want me now? Who will want me now? Even though I'm not looking, I question it. Who will want me now? You know? I hurt so much. My body hurts so much all the time. And sometimes it prevents me from doing a lot of different things. I really wanted to start working out, but the neuropathy in my feet and legs is just unbearable sometimes. It really is. So I try to do some other things and just cut back and eat, and try to do light exercise when I can, when I'm feeling able to. When I first started going to therapy, I say about 2015. End of 2014, beginning of 2015. And it was a breath of fresh air in a way, because I could tell this woman, my therapist, anything I wanted to tell her, that I could never tell nobody else. I've told that woman so much stuff to it's unreal, and she has helped me along the way. I still see her every week. Sometimes I get mad and frustrated, and I don't go, and then I stop seeing her for a while, and then I go back to seeing her. But she has really helped me out a lot, and she's been there for me more than I can ask for in a therapist. She came to see me in the hospital when I had my second baby, brought me flowers, and she brought my baby all kind of stuff. So I'm thankful for her. I'm very thankful for my therapist. Yeah. But depression is a hell of a thing to go through. It's a hell of a thing, and I'm always the type of person to always feel like I'm alone. Because I'm so private to the point that I don't want to ask for help. And I don't ask for help. I just try to deal with it on my own. And a lot of times it's not even healthy. Because, depression comes in all kind of forms. And, it messes with your sleep, which I wasn't getting any sleep because I'd be up half the night. Because it seemed like my brain couldn't even shut off at times. And then I would be binge eating. The drive-thru was my best friend. And then I had the access to money that I can just go and get it or call it, and they'll bring it to the house. So, I would do that. Me and my son would eat. But he's not a fat boy. He's a tall, lanky boy. So that was right down his alley. I didn't want to, when my husband used to come, go to work out of town a lot, and then he'll come home to be with the family, I would be so anxious, so nervous, because I tried my damnedest to make things so perfect. Make sure the house was clean, everything was in place, there was not a crumb in sight, and I did that. But it's like he just, over a period of time, he just found things, everything wrong. It's just wrong. Just wrong. Everything was wrong. But the more he did what he was doing behind my back, the more mean and nasty he got towards me. And then eventually he just stopped even paying attention to our oldest child, Amandre. And now their relationship is not even good. My son doesn't even really care for his daddy no more. He really don't. And Ben ignores the hell out of him. And it's all. And then I told my son it's okay. It's okay because you know what? You got your mama. You got your mama. You got your mama. It's heartbreaking. It really is. But going into that marriage, I didn't have a blueprint. I don't think nobody had a blueprint when it comes to marriage. I didn't have an example in my own home. So, because my mama was never married. She hasn't married. And my grandma, she was married, but I never saw that. Because I was too young to see whatever it was that was going on before I came in the world. So, I never saw her relationships as a married woman. So, I didn't have that example. My cousins and, and stuff like that had, them examples, in their household. But I don't know what it felt like to have a mom and daddy in the home. And I was trying to give that experience to my child. So, yeah, I endured a lot. I took a lot because I wanted my kids to have their mama and their daddy in the same house. Yeah, I really did that. I tried to do everything in my power to maintain it. And it required me to take a lot of shit. Take a lot of shit. When I stopped working in 2014 and pursued my college degrees, I ultimately forfeited my financial freedom. So I had to really financially depend on my husband for whatever it was I needed to depend on him for. And then it got to the point where I just stopped buying things for me and just making sure my child, at the time, my only child at the time, had what he needed. And, that the household was taken care of, the bills were taken care of. But I didn't do nothing for myself. And it was looked down upon when I did, behind my husband, when I did do anything for myself. So, that right there, it's just like, wow. He didn't want me to improve in my appearance. So, I already had a thing about my appearance. I knew I was fat. I always knew I was fat. The kids in the school the kids in school, when I was in school, middle school, high school, they always reminded me that I was fat. They was always picking on something like, oh, look at her shoes, they running over, look at her booty, look how she walk, and all that stuff right there. So I knew that I was fat. You know what I'm saying? But when I moved here to Georgia, I was made to know that I was fat. The way I don't know if I'm putting it right, but they would never went by to let you know that you was fat. One time I was in the grocery store, me and my oldest, and we was shopping in Winn-Dixie here in Georgia, and I seen a little girl and her mom. Her mama was on the phone, and the little girl was just looking, and she told her mama, "Look at that fat lady." I'm like, wow, did she just do that? And so, slowly but surely, I just didn't like to go out in the public. And I became a hermit. Only places I would go was to the schools to pick up my child. And then I would go early mornings to Walmart, or either late nights to Walmart where there was less people. So, yeah. But a lot of these kids here in Georgia, when I see them at the school, their parents are fat. So I don't understand. How you going to talk about me, say anything about me that I'm fat, then you have a fat mama too, or a fat daddy? That puzzles me right there, period. And I remember one time, my son was going to this after school program, and I picked him up and everything. You had to go in the building to pick him up. And then this teacher was, she was picking at me. She was literally picking at me and trying to get the other staff to pick at me too. I'm like, wow. So I told the director, and she handled it. She handled that for me, because that thing right there had me in tears. Anytime anybody would look at me wrong or look like they picking at me, I would literally go home and cry. I would go home and cry. And it had me in a funk. A nasty funk. Like I just didn't care no more. You know? Then you got people, oh, you got a pretty face. You got a pretty face and all that. But I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it myself. Because really, I don't even look in the mirror. Anything from neck down, I don't do pictures like that. I don't like to do pictures like that. And I barely like to do the ones in the face. But I would do the face faster than my body. Because my insecurity with myself. You know? And these insecurities, they go way back. Not just when I got into marriage. They go way back to when I was living in my mom's house, my mom and grandma's house. And it just, my insecurity just was low, and my self-esteem was just low. You know, being molested and nobody believe you, and then they caught this man in an action, and they still allowed this man to come over. I just don't know. I just don't know. My self-esteem is went super down, and it seemed like I was getting older, but I was getting older, and it seemed like my body was getting older too, because it attracted grown ass men. Some men that was even married, you know, and they would try it. All they had to do is because at the time that was going on, my mama had a new boyfriend. She was mostly at his house all the time, and probably would come back home when they got into an argument or something like that. But a lot of times she was with whatever man she was with, and she didn't have time. So the predators came out, and they knew how to get to my grandmama, because they would bring her not wine, but liquor, gin, ENJ. You know, they know how to get to her, get her drunk, you know, and stuff. And they be riding their light sipping, and then in the next moment they trying to feel on me or touch up on me. You know, awful, very much awful. So I didn't say anything about that, because hell, they didn't acknowledge. They didn't want to acknowledge the fact that this other man, prior to all this was going on, was molesting me and my sister. So why even open my mouth when they're not going to believe me or defend me or come to my rescue? So no, I endured that too. But YouTube, I'm going to pick up the pieces more in the next video. So please comment, like, and share my video. Support my page, support my channel, and just continue to go with me on this journey. I thank everyone who's watching and subscribing and clicking that like button. I thank everyone. Just continue to come along with me on my journey. And with that being said, I'm going to go out. Sign out, YouTube. Y'all have a blessed day. Thank you.